Antonio and 94.5 FM, KZDC San Antonio. This Jason Minutes, Rob Thompson, the Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the
birthday weekend. Because there was one point on Friday night I wasn't sure.
When you reach a level of NSYNC dancing, you've reached the plateau. You've made it to the required level of birthday celebration, and it was done on Friday night. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with us and pleasure celebrating him a great birthday. It was a lot of fun. On a Masters weekend, lots to catch up with after a long weekend full of basketball. A Spurs win. Of course, we're going to hear from Pop and talk all about the magic shot by DeMar. It's been a long time since he's done one of those, and I've heard it said more than once it's the biggest shot of his career, and I'll buy that. That was how did you put it earlier, Jason, that the season hinged on this win? That it really felt like if this was a loss that the ice would have cracked through and we'd have gone to the bottom of the ocean.
You know, I kind of did feel that way, and I was leaning that way heading into the weekend. You know, that second game with Denver, rest those guys. Get them some rest. You're not going to beat the Nuggets anyway. You've got to beat Dallas on Sunday if you want to stay in this thing. And for DeMar DeRozan to hit a game winner, Sean Elliott said on the broadcast, biggest shot of his Spurs career. I saw Mike Finger tweet something very similar, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, that game was that vital, and they played like it down the stretch. You could tell there seemed to be a little bit more on that game last night than the previous couple of nights in Denver, where they played all right, but they weren't beating those Nuggets.
No, Nuggets are on another level. I'll be honest, didn't see the game. And I knew that the Mavericks were hot. What were they, 15 of the last 20? They'd beaten the Jazz. They'd beaten some good teams in recent days. But they also lost to some bad teams in recent days. Quantify the Mavericks before we put too much into this win.
Well, I don't know that you can. I mean, you know, you're right. They sandwich a win over the Bucks and a win over the Jazz with losses to the Rockets and the Spurs. You know, I can't. I mean, I can't figure that out. I mean, we're not Houston Rocket bad, but I mean, they beat the Utah Jazz and Milwaukee Bucks, and then they got losses to the Spurs and the Rocket. I can imagine what they're saying in Dallas radio. It's kind of like, you know, how we often put some of these losses in the bad loss category. You can't have that. For the Mavericks, this goes in that category for them. Yeah. Big win for San Antonio, a very, very bad loss for the Dallas Mavericks.
We've suddenly become the Cleveland Cavaliers. One of those. How did you do that? How did you manage to lose that game?
I mean, when you lose to the slump busting team, how do you couch that? I mean, that's, you know, and clearly with wins over Utah and the Milwaukee Bucks, maybe the Mavs thought they could just roll in last night and get an easy win over San Antonio, you know, and what this really does, if anything else, because any win over the hated Dallas Mavericks is a good win. In the history of NBA basketball, the Mavericks still have never swept the San Antonio Spurs in a season series. We've done it to them 8 times. They have never swept us in a series. Little things.
Little brother. Well, we're going to look at the game, look at Pop, talk about Lonnie, DeMar's great shot, undress the game, and prepare for yet another one. Get the Magics tonight. We'll talk Masters, of course. Hideki Matsuyama is your Masters champion. I guess it was the Masters. We got a new champ. Youth was served.
Yeah.
You know, hey, I'm proud. This is a big day. This dude's going to make $1 billion, and went and got it. But for a Sunday Masters, I guess there was enough drama to keep people tuned in, if not, you know, glued to the afternoon.
I am a casual golf watcher. I like watching the majors. I like watching the final round of the Masters. What I saw yesterday wasn't great shot after great shot after great shot. It was a guy hanging on to win, another guy that just didn't have it in him to take over the lead. It was an incredible golf down the stretch. We've seen Masters 1 with some incredible play on the back nine on a Sunday afternoon at Augusta. We didn't see that last night, but we saw an incredible champion. It's hard to couch that way, but it wasn't like we were watching incredible golf. We watched a guy that didn't screw up as bad as the guy that was chasing him, that probably could have overcame him if he would have played some better golf.
If Schauffele's pants would have fallen off at the 15th, it wouldn't have surprised me. If he'd have lined up with the ball and his pants just went to his ankles, it would have been about right. That was just about the worst possible time for the worst possible effort. So that we got a new kind of legend on 15 from now on. Whenever we get to 15 on Sunday, he's going to get to see himself.
Sure. It's always going to be there. But it wasn't your typical. The drama, was he going to win? Was he not going to win? I was kind of hoping Jordan would go on a tear on that back nine because, the way everybody in front of him was playing, but he didn't go on a tear. It wasn't like, it wasn't a disappointment because it was the Masters, but it wasn't thrilling, edge of your seat. Oh my goodness. Kind of golf.
Game night San Antonio is going to be early tonight. We're out early all week long as the Rangers are dominating the baseball schedule on the nightly. They've got, the Rangers, Major League Baseball has adopted basically an NBA schedule. I say that facetiously because NBA has now become Major League Baseball. We get it every night, at least every other. And the Rangers all week long, they got the race tonight at 6. We'll be out early for them. And whenever you get the Rangers, you get them right here on ESPN San Antonio. So make sure you're tuning into our New Breaks broadcast. All right, let's break. Let's break our huddle. Come back. There's a lot of things to talk about. We're going to talk Masters in just a couple of minutes, but we got to talk about the overarching theme. Tiger Woods' name never goes far away from professional golf, and as the Masters was going on this weekend, we heard more from the Los Angeles Sheriff on what occurred during and after that crash, and we have some questions. We're going to kind of look into the how good it is to be a Tiger Woods, despite the fact the situation that he finds himself in. I say that being a GM is easy. And they have the award for those types of GMs that do think it's easy. They hand one out every year for the worst sports deal of the previous year. And I think we have a worthy winner this year, though there are several strong candidates. But it goes without saying the worst deal made in a decade in the NFL should win this one.
Although I think you're couching it wrong. See, they award what they consider the greatest transaction of the year.
I'm looking at it from the Houston point of view. I'm sorry, I'm supposed to be looking at it from the GM point of view, from the Cardinals. Oh, I see.
Well, look, I don't know if Bill O'Brien puts it on his resume that his trade of DeAndre Hopkins netted the Arizona Cardinals the transaction of the year award. It's almost like winning a raspberry. I don't know if they send a trophy, a plaque or whatever.
2 trophies.
Down to Houston. There's 2 of them, huh?
Right. Well, I picture it like a donkey or a majestic stag where there's horn and all that. That's half. And then on the back half, you get the donkey's ass or the ass. And together, it forms a beautiful trophy. But separate, you get to delineate exactly what role you played in the finest transaction in the sporting world for a year.
Again, it's a great nugget on the resume of Bill O'Brien. It is another award in a long list of awards. He'll be doing interviews on the SEC network, and they will list that as the award. Once traded DeAndre Hopkins for a bag of Doritos. Actually, not even Doritos. It was the H-E-B brand. I mean, they got nothing for DeAndre Hopkins except now an award. At least they get that.
And that goes with Tom Brady landing in Tampa, Stephon Diggs vaulting from Minnesota and maybe collapsing them, much like D-Hop leaving the Texans. Worthy candidates all. We'll talk about the finest transaction or the worst transaction of our sports year. We're going to do that just a little bit after 5 o'clock. Lots of Masters, lots of Spurs, and we're heading out for baseball early. You want to hang around with us. Coming back, we're going to hear from Pop post-game after a much needed win.
Yes.
We'll get into it next here on the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, we all like things to be easy and convenient, and New Brakes has done that with brake repair. Jason Minix here for New Brakes. They're a mobile brake shop. That means they will come to you to fix your brakes, your home, your office, wherever you're going to be for about an hour, and they're going to fix your brakes. At New Brakes, they provide convenient and affordable brake repairs, and they only fix brakes, so you're not going to get upsells like at a traditional repair shop. They only use premium brake parts, and they back all their repairs with a 24-month, 24,000-mile warranty. So if your brakes are bad or you think they're going bad, go to nubrakes.com right now. Schedule your repair. Save 10% when you mention my name or ESPN San Antonio. If you're busy at work or just relaxing at the house, you continue to do what you do while New Brakes fixes your brakes. It's what they do, and they're great at it. Go read all the 5-star reviews at nubrakes.com. Schedule your repair now. Newbrakes.com and newbrakes.com.
100% sports, 100% of the time. That's 200% sports.
Your math is blowing my mind.
San Antonio's sports leader. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. All day, every day.
Jason Minix here for BSG, the company that brings you the best in home security and smart home technology. You know, the security system in my house is from BSG. The video cameras, video doorbell, the other features, they're fantastic. And the camera systems that BSG offer are so good. Not only do you get a great picture, but it can tell if it's a person, animal, or a car. So you're not going to get a bunch of notifications every time a car goes down your street, but you can find out which one of your neighbor's dogs happens to be leaving you a gift in the yard. And don't be fooled by those price club systems you have to install yourself. You'll be shocked at how reasonable new smart cameras from BSG can be. Call them 210-877-1222 or visit bsgtexas.com to get your free in-home estimate and never worry about what's going on around your home again. You're going to know. BSG is San Antonio's home technology company, a great local company built on trust, quality, and safety. They are the best in the industry. Call 210-877-1222 or go to bsgtexas.com. That's bsgtexas.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
At Thomas J. Henry, our sole focus is to help injured clients rebuild their lives. If you've been hurt, don't wait. Start your claim today at tjhlaw.com/radio. That's tjhlaw.com/radio. San Antonio, Texas.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Nothing can prepare you
A dragon marking? It's an invitation.
means you've been chosen for Mortal Kombat. On April 23rd,
We don't have much time.
the worldwide phenomenon comes to life. I am Sub-Zero. Get over here! Mortal Kombat. Rated R. Under 17. Not admitted without parent. Theaters and on HBO Max April 23rd.
Designer face masks, DIY haircuts. In a world full of things you never thought possible, here's one more. Now you can get the same high-quality insurance from Allstate, but at a new low rate. Drivers who switched and saved averaged $718. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
Reported average annual savings from switching auto by new customers surveyed who saved with Allstate in 2019. In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Not available in every state. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM. If you're sitting on the go, slow down. Go to ESPNSA.com. You can watch us live. Hey, you know, Mom's Day is just around the corner, and we want to help you celebrate it the right way. Register and win $1,000 of Mother's Day at ESPNSA.com. Brought to you by Service First Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Give Mom the best Mother's Day ever. That's $1,000. Go to ESPNSA.com. Brought to you by Service First Air Conditioning and Plumbing. Hit it there, and brought to you by ESPN San Antonio. How far away is Mother's Day? This took me by surprise. I didn't realize how soon it was coming.
About 3 weeks.
Is
it
3
really?
weeks?
Yeah, we got to get busy, man.
May 9th?
Yeah. Is it May 9th? See, they do Mother's Day first because Father's Day you get appropriate to what you did for Mother's Day. If you knock it out of the park, your Father's Day is going to be pretty good. If you don't do so good, hey, I'm just that's the way of the world, man. You got to win Mother's Day, so your Father's Day turns out pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
That's years of experience, my friend. That's the 1,000-yard stare. The old father. I've been around for a while. You got to play this game right.
Mother's Day is when? It's coming
May
up
9th, man. Get busy. Yeah.
All right.
See, you
Get
thought
her
the
a
same
Traeger.
thing. Yeah, well, see, we've actually met folks that had the opposite occur, and it worked out quite well. But we'll talk about that another day. So the Spurs go up to Dallas, reeling, rocking, socking, not doing good. The Mavs, on the other hand, 15 of the last 20, look like a team that's trending upward, finding their depth, some would say. And the Spurs show up and take care of business. Really, I mean, while the DeMar DeRozan shot helped to win the game, it wasn't like the game was in that much doubt. They just had to hold on to a nice little lead to close it out. And that's a pleasant thing to do when we talk about the Spurs. But, here's the thing, Jason. We're going to hear from Pop in just a second. And before we do, dude, you just came off a 5-game schneid. Act excited. Don't act like, oh, well, we just did what we're supposed to do. No, dude, that was important. That was a huge win.
You know, it was, but they always seem to stay so even keel, even in the midst of a 5-game losing streak. And I was bitching last week that, dude, I want to see some anger from these guys. Rudy Gay after you get beat by Cleveland of all teams. Well, that happens in the NBA sometimes. Dude, act mad. And they don't. They do stay very even keel after a bad loss or a good win. But you think about the Denver game. You go back to that Denver game, and we were at Pledge's, birthday party, and kind of half paying attention to it, half not, until they had a chance to win it, and of course they didn't. And again, good teams figure out how to win games like that. Last night against the Dallas Mavericks, the Spurs at one point up 9 late were about to lose that game, and had they lost that game, this season would have officially ended at last night. But they figured out how to hang on and win. They really did. They really did. I'm not trying to oversell the importance of last night's game, but it was that important of a win for the San Antonio Spurs. And damn it, they went and got it. It felt good to beat the Mavericks.
Well, DeMar went and got it. 27 points in the second half. Let's not take away and give credit where it was certainly due. And it's certainly the effect that Lonnie offers on that second unit's defense is huge because he's capable of guarding the better players. He's capable of coming off a switch and guarding anybody from a point to a 4. He's able to do a lot of things that when he's not around, we can't. And I'm not even talking about his offense. I'm just talking about the defensive pressure that he does certainly help in that second unit. And the scoring, I think that was gravy last night. That certainly helped to close things.
Yeah, it did. And again, I mean, incredible down the stretch. The fact that, game is on the line. He's got the ball. He's dribbling out, goes to his move, and knocks it down with 0.5 to go to snap that 5-game losing streak. After the game, Greg Popovich on DeMar DeRozan.
Everything runs through him. DJ and Derek are, kind of sharing point guard duty. DeJounte's becoming more and more comfortable with being that guy at the point. But DeMar is our scorer. So he's taken on that responsibility all year long, and he's got courage. He misses some of them, he makes some of them, just like everybody through the ages. But he just comes back and does it again. It doesn't worry, kind of like a hitter in baseball.
I guess you could go there. I mean, he had some Batman reference the other night against Denver that, there's no help coming. So maybe he did take it upon himself, and he knew he had to go through it. Now, I'm trying to think of all the DeMar DeRozan game winners in his Spurs career. Last night on Bally Sports or whatever on the post-game show, apparently they showed the last time he hit a game winner, it was against the Dallas Mavericks. Apparently he only hits them against Dallas, and when he does, they're daggers.
As the Wookiee told us, we're slump buster, man. We showed up and they thought we were going to be an easy move, and didn't work out that way. Couple things from what we heard from Pop. What was that thing about DeJounte growing into point guard? What was that thing? And the thing about sharing point guard, where was that? Can we play that just a second, one more
point
time?
Guard duty. DeJounte's becoming more and more comfortable with being that guy.
That seems a little odd this stage in his career that he's just now getting comfortable with that.
I'm just curious. What's that NFL saying? If you got two quarterbacks, you got none. We'll leave it at that. We have a win, so I'm not going to bitch about a win. But I have great concerns from that. Secondly, was that a sales pitch from Pop? Was that Pop recruiting DeMar through the press saying, dude, you're the man. You're the guy for us to be successful. I got a couple of point guards that are learning their way, but you're the man.
You're our scorer. You're our scorer.
An explanation to keep him motivated to just play hard through the rest of the season. Hey, man, you could keep shooting like this because we don't have anybody else that scores. We don't have a guy that consistently do it. So you're our man. I wonder, as he said that, it felt to me a little bit like, if you stay, tonight was fun, wasn't it? Did you enjoy 27 in the second half and having free reign to shoot it whenever you wanted? Did you like that? Because I could be arranged next year with a little bit more talent around you.
Well, and again, I mean, Pop, I put nothing past him when it comes to that. Yes, at times there's recruiting and the idea of the shared point guard and him talking about it in those terms, which, again, like you said, I mean, pick one and go with it. I mean, this offense lacks consistency, and that's part of the reason why. And it did feel like last night, especially in the second half, they just went out there and played. Now, granted, it helped that Dallas didn't really play any defense. Spurs didn't play much defense either. But you look at that, DeMar put it on him to go get a win. I mean, I think the guy was just sick of losing, and they realized if they're going to stay in any kind of a playoff chase, losing to Denver sucks, but you can't afford to lose to the Mavericks. That is who you're battling neck and neck right now in the standings.
At 5:30, we're going to have Game Night San Antonio. Jill Jelnick will join us as we prepare for the Orlando Magic tonight. Mellow Mushrooms Game Night San Antonio. 5:30, we'll talk a lot more about the Spurs and their prep for the Magic and where DeMar sits. I will say that I agree with you that it was a super important win just for the general psyche of this team. And I was impressed the way that DeMar went and did it when he absolutely had to do it. But I do believe, and Pop has even told us over the weekend, that yes, we're going to have some load management games, that he's going to have to miss some. It's every other night from here to the end of the season. We do not get 2 nights off until this thing is done. So DeMar's going to sit down, and it certainly makes it a lot easier to sit down now. As we face a very difficult week, some more conference rivals on the docket. When you look at what Portland and Phoenix are coming to town, some really benchmark kind of games. To see him sit down, maybe 1 or 2 over the next week. What do you think?
Well, look, you got to get wins wherever you can. The Spurs are 2-7 on the second night of back-to-backs. They're not very good on it. Orlando went from bad to worse when they got rid of Vooch. I think they're 2-6 since that trade happened. So I don't know that you could afford to sit them down tonight, because tonight should be a win for the San Antonio Spurs. And I say should be. I know I'm talking about this year's San Antonio Spurs, and there's nothing should be about this. But when you look at the upcoming schedule, this is a winnable game. Phoenix and Portland, probably not. Take the rest when you probably aren't going to win anyway.
Well, it feels like the narrative of these point guards sharing, there's going to be more time to come. And maybe the intent still isn't to win the playoffs, just to win the important ones, the fun ones that we can talk about, the owning of the Mavericks, and just win your division games. And, Magic come to town, and it is what it is.
And while DeMar is getting all the love for his 33 points last night and hitting the game winner, DeJounte, 25 points. I thought he had an incredible game. Yak played a really good game, a handful of blocks in there. But welcome back, Lonnie Walker. Lonnie Walker with a poster of a dunk on a night where apparently everybody had ridiculous dunks last night. You know, what the kind of stuff that we wish we would see, I don't know, in a dunk contest during All-Star weekend. But Lonnie might have had the dunk of all dunks for the Spurs this year, and it wasn't even the best dunk of the night. But welcome back, Lonnie Walker. And this team, you can see the difference that he really makes, especially with that second unit.
That athleticism, yeah, it was important. Before we come back and talk about the Masters, I do want to talk about the Mavericks. That's a team in turmoil. They should be. I know that they have been okay, but to lose like that and to see a team that really is floundering, we thought that was going to be a much better team. I'm astounded by what I saw.
You know, Luka had 30 points, 29 points last night. You know, the dude steps over half court and fires up a three. You know, it just feels like, you know, wherever you are, these half court three, I mean, just looks like ill-advised shots. And then there was others that, you know, he passed up that you thought he was going to get, but, you know, they were kind of sloppy with the game. You're right. I thought they would be better, but, you know, I mean, Porzingis played well. I mean, their two stars played well, but nobody else really did.
The defense played on DeMar, whether you double him at the end of the game or not, was still Dorian Finney-Smith. That was embarrassing. But as we look at that shot, you know, you're so used to defending to the three-point line, whether there's no time left, whether you need 1, 2, or 3 points, it doesn't matter. You're defending the three-point line. You defend DeMar DeRozan, you know, man, if he wasn't stepping back for a three, you didn't defend that guy very well. That was absolutely embarrassing by the Mavericks. It didn't look good, man. Who am I to judge? We have our own issues, but that was one of those losses that I think will sting them for a while, much like the Rockets did for us.
Well, when you look at the Dallas Mavericks, and I try not to say this and sound like a Spurs homer when I do say this, but the Mavericks are the most disappointing team this season.
They are,
because the expectations were so much higher for Dallas. I thought Dallas at the beginning of the year was going to be in the mix with the two LA teams. I thought what you're seeing out of Utah is what we would see out of the Dallas Mavericks this year. Phoenix might be the biggest surprise on the good side. Dallas, the biggest surprise on the bad side. The fact that they haven't figured it out. I'd like to put New Orleans in that category, but with all the changes they had after the bubble and firing their coach and all the players that disappeared, I mean, with Zion, you expected more just because he's there. But
he's doing enough. Have you seen what he's doing?
But he's by himself. That's why I say, I mean, I'd like to, you could maybe argue with me a little bit about New Orleans being a bigger disappointment, but he's by himself with a coach that, well, I mean, that's why I think Dallas is the biggest disappointment of the NBA season to this point.
Yeah, I think the way the Pelicans have been playing, it's sad because they're wasting Shaq-like performances from Zion. I mean, 30 points a night, shooting over 60%, and he is, you know, 5th on the lead show for ESPN. When Shaq was doing this 20 years ago, they changed the rules of the game. They really went, you know, there's nothing we can do about this. We're going to have to change the rules. We have to allow a zone because there's no stopping it. Well, Zion's putting up those kind of numbers, and it's an afterthought. And I think with the Pelicans more than anything else, I think Van Gundy was brought in to supervise just this kind of season. Yeah, you know, Zion, go nuts. Let's lose some more. Let's go get us a rookie. I really believe that because that team should be a whole lot better. And nobody has pointed out how important he was and his value to the league than Drew Holiday. His absence from the Pelicans. Oh, my God. What a collapse. That guy is glue for sure. Hey, let's talk Masters coming back. The value of the Masters, well, we know how much you win, but when you are the first Japanese-born Masters winner, talk about some perks. This dude could make $1 billion over the lifetime for just a couple 4 days worth of work. We'll talk about the Masters, the clothes, the green jacket, and all that goes along with it next. Hang around. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
You know, it is grilling season, so if you're looking for authentic sausage, the kind you could find in butcher shops back in the old days, then you know Kielbasa smoked sausage is what you've been looking for. You see, at Kielbasa, they make their legendary smoked sausage in small 150-pound batches with only fresh, high-quality ingredients, never frozen meat. They don't add fillers or chemicals that you can't pronounce. Then it is smoked over real hardwood, just the way Rufus Kielbasa did back in 1949 when he started the company here in San Antonio. And Kielbasa is a great local company. Everything they make is made here in San Antonio over there off of South Brazos Street, including their new smoked chicken sausage. Yep, for a limited time only, you can buy their smoked chicken sausage only at their company store there on South Brazos Street, or you can buy it online at Kielbasa.com. And it is incredible. The hatch chili and cheddar and the roasted garlic smoked chicken sausage available for a limited time. Again, at Kielbasa.com or at the company store, 1325 South Brazos Street. You know, at Kielbasa, they are on a mission to reintroduce you to authentic smoked meats. So when you buy Kielbasa brand sausage, you're getting the best, most authentic smoked sausage you'll ever eat. Michael Kielbasa guarantees it. That's why he puts his phone number on the back of every package sold. If it ain't the best, call him. He'll give you your money back. You know you're going to fire up the grill. Go get some Kielbasa today.
Hey, don't get left out of the conversation. I wouldn't be able to sleep at night if you did.
You know, if you're having issues at the house with your plumbing, your heating, your AC, there's one company to call, and that is Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-651-5899. At Quartermoon, they are experts at worst-case scenarios. Big job, small job, residential or commercial. Their service trucks are fully stocked, and they have all the equipment needed for any job. They do not have commission sales reps. They'll provide estimates and second opinions. They have a great experienced staff that has earned an A-plus ranking with the Better Business Bureau. Quartermoon Plumbing, Heating, and AC, 210-651-5899, or online at quartermoonplumbing.com.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
From the Gulf of Mexico to the hill country of Texas, Ewald Kubota is your Kubota dealer.
You can talk keto all you want, but if you don't have a team of great tasting snacks behind you, you're not going to win the diet marathon. Southern Recipe small batch pork rinds have these big, bold flavors that kick your taste buds into high gear. Korean kimchi barbecue, pasilla chili cheese, spicy dill, and more. Eat them right out of the bag or try them in your favorite recipes. You'll love this snack. Visit your local H-E-B and southernrecipesmallbatch.com to see the power of the rind.
Receive a $5 rebate by trading up any non-contact thermometer toward an Exergen temporal scanner purchased at any retailer. With COVID continuing to spread, nothing matters more than having an accurate thermometer that's backed by more than 80 published peer-reviewed clinical studies, like the Exergen temporal scanner. Even after getting the COVID vaccine, you should be monitoring for fever to make sure you are protected. Keep your family and yourself safe by trading up your non-contact thermometer for an accurate temporal scanner and a $5 rebate from Exergen, where accuracy matters. Details at Exergen.com.
Napa know-how.
At Napa, you don't need to be a magician to pull 20% savings out of thin air. All you need is a bucket. Yep, you can magically save on 3 or more items with a $2.99 Napa bucket. So use whatever magical catchphrase you want, like Abraca Bucket or Alaka Savings or Bippity Boppity Bucket, and save 20% today. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating locations, exclusions apply. May not be combined with other offers. Offer ends 4/30/21.
If I'm not commuting anymore, where do I really want to live?
While you handle life's questions, Merrill Guided Investing helps you manage your portfolio and invest for your next move with the option to work with an advisor at a low cost and minimum. Merrill, a Bank of America company. Visit merrilledge.com/investing goals to get started today.
Investing involves risk. Merrill Lynch, Pierce, Fenner & Smith Incorporated, both a registered broker-dealer and investment advisor, member SIPC. Investment products are not FDIC insured or not bank guaranteed and may lose value.
It's the Blitz.
Welcome on to ESPN San Antonio. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. Go watch us live. Go to ESPNSA.com. You'll see our YouTube feed there. You can check us out on Facebook as well. Kane Brown, he's coming to San Antonio. We're giving away tickets all week long. We'll have some more tomorrow. Kane Brown coming to the AT&T Center. Post-haste, you want to get yourself some tickets where they're going on sale on the 16th, but they're opening early Thursday, April the 15th from 10 at 10 p. If you want to get in on that, go to ESPNSA.com for your special pre-sale code and link to get your tickets a day early. And if you want to win them, listen tomorrow as we have another pair of Kane Brown tickets. He's coming to the AT&T Center on October the 16th. To get your tickets, go to the AT&T Center box office or KaneBrownMusic.com. The Masters came and went, and we'll talk about that in a bit. We're going to get into there's a new movie being made in about 15 minutes. We're going to talk about Kevin James and who he's going to portray a current NFL head coach. And I'll lead you to guess.
Matt Rule.
I promise you, you're going to be wrong. And we'll tell you who it's going to be in about 15 minutes. But in the meantime, the Masters was what the Masters is. It was a glorious exhibition of, golf for golf's sake and all the pomp and circumstance that you can offer. It was all of that, but it wasn't a great weekend of golf. It was an extraordinary, memorable weekend of golf as we have our first Japanese-born champion, which on its own is worthy and actually kind of surprising that it hadn't already happened already. But Matsuyama is in a beautiful place right now.
He is. And again, I mean, there was a photo of him floating around social media earlier, sitting at the airport by himself with, his carry-on and the green jacket draped over the chair. And you're thinking, all right, dude, you just won the Masters. They didn't send a private plane for you. I mean, the fact that you're just at the Chicago airport by yourself, security is nowhere to be seen. I mean, it's just how much longer before he's no longer a regular dude that can just roll through an airport?
I think this was his last day. I think as of today, it's completely over because he is going to arrive back home to a remarkably ecstatic crew. I mean, the country's just going to go nuts. He's 29. You think of the potential that he has to be the guiding light of Japanese sports for the next 50 years.
You look at it, and Andy North talked about this first, but I've seen some Andy North is the first person I saw talking about this. I don't know if the golf people were in on this ahead of time, but I mean, when he had the lead going into the weekend, they talked about if he can hang on and win this thing and become the first person from Japan to win a major, to win a Masters. Imagine opening ceremony of the Olympics, and here he comes with that green jacket. Over the course of his life with endorsements would be worth $1 billion. I mean, think about that. $1 billion. How much we think Tiger is already getting from international endorsements alone. When that Tony Parker propaganda film that was on Netflix several months ago, you realize the amount of money that nobody knew he was making. But I mean, the endorsements and stuff that he has over there, close to what he is about to cash in on in a golf crazy country.
They get the Masters trophy that looks like a small wedding cake. Looks like a wedding cake of the Augusta National.
Cake. Yes.
It looks kind of like that. Very small, very appropriate. They, of course, I didn't know they get a gold medal. Did you know they get a gold medal?
I didn't know that. I think we read it every year and go, they get a gold medal? Huh.
Well, you normally skip past the gold medal.
Yeah.
And then you land on the $2 million, the $2 million check, which is always nice to get.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's gonna, the purse itself. I mean, the guys that didn't win, it was still a really good weekend for Jordan Spieth in a lot of ways. But the $2 million you get from winning, the ridiculous amount that you will get from just endorsements from winning the Masters, and he will go international bigger than anybody else ever has with endorsement money. But you get lifetime. You're always going to be allowed to play, no matter how bad you are. You're always going to make the weekend, and then. You get free membership dues there at the country club.
The honorary membership, if you have to ask, you can't afford kind of thing. But that's got to be the biggest thing ever. I mean, I wonder if you're just like a one-time winner, you're only allowed to play on like Tuesday mornings. Like, oh, you're a one-time winner. Yeah, you're free every Tuesday from 6 a.m. to 11. You have all the availability. Now, win another jacket, and maybe you'll get a crack in on a Saturday every 3 months.
I get a feeling, it's interesting, for the first 5 years, you can play when you want. After that, the one-time winner from 1980, whatever, they're allowed Tuesday afternoon twilight tea times in the fall only, and you don't get the food credits at the bar.
Honorary membership to Augusta National and a fancy trophy and a gold medal. You get all the cool stuff. I will say this: Jordan Spieth, Valero Texas Open winner, great weekend at the Masters. Didn't win, but I think Jordan is back at a time when golf really needs somebody like Jordan to be back. With Tiger and him playing golf again, very much in doubt. Jordan Spieth is setting himself up to go on a hell of a run, and I know the next major he'll have a chance at a career slam. Jordan is sitting really good right now for us American golf fans. Well, youth will be served, and maybe that was some of the problem with it not really being thrilling golf. It was, whoever makes the least of the number of mistakes is going to win the tourney, and it wasn't a guy who didn't, Matsuyama, for all he did, and congratulations, he still shot one over for the day. It wasn't like he charged to the finish and really owned it and walked away like, I beat you guys. He kind of stumbled in, and other guys tripped and made a couple more mistakes. But I guess that's part of the youth will be served. I think we have to grow accustomed to the lack of the Tigers and the lack of the Phils as they kind of move on. I remember the generation when everybody couldn't wait to see Freddie Couples, and there came a time when you went, dude, it's no longer there for you, man. And we had to adjust to that next crowd. That next crowd has been up and down. I think you're right. Spieth, if he could have just catapulted that win, and which, by the way, there's still never been a winner of a golf tournament the previous week to the Masters to step in and win that thing. And Jordan, I think, has come as close as anybody. That would have been the catapult for what would have been the phenomenal Valero Texas next year. Yeah. But certainly, I think his performance didn't hurt to get other guys to come and play the week before here in San Antonio.
Well, definitely. And again, I was a little surprised at the lack of Tiger and the impact that it did have on this year's tournament. And
can we talk about Tiger for a second?
Well, in a second, because the other thing that I thought they were going to do, you remember right after the accident, everybody wore red and black, and it was said at the time. Surprised they didn't wait and do that at the Masters. I was surprised they didn't do that yesterday at the Masters. That a bunch of guys didn't roll out there in red to kind of pay tribute to Tiger Woods. I really did think they would be a little bit more done for Tiger Woods.
Did you hear what the sheriff said over the weekend about the crash?
I did.
Okay. So for those that you're unaware, evidently when Tiger came to after the accident, he didn't remember the accident, which isn't surprising, but he also thought that he was in Florida. Now, I'm no doctor, and I'm certainly not a cop, and I know he took probably a pretty good shot to the melon. That's bad. We can joke about it. He's alive, and certainly Godspeed to his recovery. But if that was us, I'm just going to say if that was me, I'm going to put myself in a borrowed, a given to me, a leaser, a user model of a vehicle that I've never driven before. It was Sunday morning after a big golf tournament that I'd been seeing everywhere, knowing full well that there were other duties that I had. And if I had gotten up on a Sunday morning and wrecked a vehicle and woke up and thought I was in another state and wasn't drug or alcohol tested, I would be shocked. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm surprised that he won't, because the last time we saw him standing next to a cop, now this time he was standing, barely, he thought he was in California. And he had to go to rehab after that. So this time he's in Florida. We don't even get a drug test. I'm not saying he was. I'm just thinking it's very interesting.
But knowing his history, you would have thought that they would have done that just as part of their due diligence. So you got a one-car accident, no brakes. Turns out he was going over 80 miles an hour. I would have thought drug testing or drawing of the blood or whatever. I'm no lawyer. Plenty of them listening. Jason Thompson would be able to tell us, if that's standard operating procedure or not. Then Sergeant Michael Downing states in his report that there was an empty pharmaceutical bottle found that was not labeled in a backpack at the crash site. Not clear what was inside the unlabeled bottle. And again, I got a feeling if it were you, Rob, or me, especially James, there would have been a little bit more testing that goes along with that.
I'm not saying anything outright was done poorly or wrong. I just know that the level of interest would have been a little bit greater if I'd have been in a one-car accident at Sunday morning at 7 a.m. and they found me unresponsive, forgotten what had happened. It turns out I had driven 80 miles an hour with very few brake marks, and my excuse was I might have, or the reasoning was I've mistaken the gas pedal for the brake pedal. I probably would have been drug tested. I'm just saying that. And then if they found a pill vial in my backpack, I probably would have been drug tested.
Now, again, it's California.
No, I'm not. Who am I to say?
I mean, one car accident, nobody injured except the guy that was driving the car, but going 84 miles an hour, he doesn't even get a speeding ticket. Granted, nobody saw him speeding, but the data shows what it is. I mean, there's just all that there. And look, Tiger's lucky, and if he would have got fined, he would have gotten fined. But it does seem odd that they so quietly and quickly wrapped up the investigation.
Where do you think you are, Tiger? We're going to Disney World, right? No, wrong state. Oh, never mind. I'm not going to speak.
Well, imagine. I mean, it's like, what are you guys doing here? Why is the LA sheriff in Florida? You know what I mean? And again, I mean, he travels a lot. I mean, you've traveled a lot and got confused about what hotel room you're in. I think we've all done that.
All of this falls into line. I'm not saying anything on the individual move was, different. I don't want to use I don't think that he was treated any different than most. If you're a star and people know who you are, I'll just leave it at that. They knew who he was and they didn't take it any further. It was LA. If it had happened anywhere else, I have a feeling that a blood test would have been in order, or at least the attorneys or the police or the DA would have gone to a judge to try to get a court order to get that blood or sample, because just and I think it comes down to what you just said, Jason. Nobody else was hurt. There's really no need to pursue it. But if there had been, I have a feeling there might be more to the story.
Well, and again, I mean, you look on the flip side, nobody else was hurt. Right. Andy Reid's son has been charged with a felony DWI for the accident where they say he was going about 83, well over the legal limit for alcohol, admitted that he was drinking, but a 5-year-old girl was severely injured in that wreck. He's facing felony charges at this point, and that might just be the difference. You only hurt yourself in this case. Why pile on? In the case of Andy Reid's boy, a little girl has been severely injured, and you could see law going after him as they should.
A Class D felony, though. I found it's pretty. I mean, a Class D, at least in the state of Texas, the higher up on the alphabet, the lower the really, the importance of the crime, all the way down to it's no longer a felony. It's a misdemeanor. Class D seemed a little light for me, but I don't know the Missouri laws. I don't know. I know that he's in trouble. I know he's going to see a judge, and it's not going to go well. You got to get that feeling.
And he got fired from his job. I mean, his dad had to let him go.
The fact that he didn't plea out.
Well, not yet. I mean, but again, and he only had the job because of his last name. Yeah. Oh, it has?
I guarantee you they're trying to get him to plea out before they went public with what they're charging him with. They'd already talked to the lawyers like, hey, we're about to, if you will plead to this will just be done. And he didn't do that. I get the feeling, or that this wouldn't have been made public. Next time we would have seen him, we might have just seen him pleading to some kind of whatever they offered. And evidently he doesn't feel like he thinks he can beat that unless they're still negotiating. Because Class D felonies seemed to me a little light for the scenario there. But again, no one was killed, but man, she was horribly hurt and he was drunk off his ass.
Mm-hmm. I mean, 0.113.
Woo! That didn't look good. Like, coming back, if you were going to hire an actor to play Sean Payton, who would you choose? Well, I can guarantee you, whoever you're going to choose, you'd be wrong as to what Netflix has chosen. They're making a movie about Sean Payton's gap year, just the post Bounty Gate year where he came to Texas to coach a high school team, the very school that Jason Witten now coaches at. We'll tell you who's playing Sean Payton and what the movie will be about coming up next. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners, a great locally owned family-run business by the Townsends, and I can tell you firsthand, I've had a water softener in my house from Alamo Water Softeners for about a decade. Wouldn't live without one. Not only do you get better tasting water, you're going to save money with the appliances that have water running through them. You're going to see the difference on your dishes coming out of the dishwasher. You'll feel the difference on your skin and hair as you get out of the shower, on your clothes as they come out of the washing machine. Now, after the winter storm that we all went through, a lot of people had two main questions about their water. One, is it safe to drink? And two, if you have a water softener, do you need a water filter? And the answer really is both. Alamo Water Softeners recommends both a water softener and a filtration system, because while the water softener does take the hardness and minerals out of the water, there are some contaminants that it can't remove. A filtration system will. What you need to do is call Alamo Water Softeners and have them come out to your house. They'll give you a free water analysis and a free estimate and make sure you get a water softener that fits the needs of your home, your family. And at Alamo Water Softeners, great product, even better customer service. In fact, they were voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite on the Nextdoor app. Alamo Water Softeners is the best value for the highest quality water treatment. So discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
It's time for ESPN San Antonio's Big Score. This hour's keyword is Riverwalk. Enter that keyword at ESPNSA.com for your chance to win $1,000. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
You know, injuries do happen, so if you twist, pull, pop, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG Orthopedics has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery, and Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries, and he does concussion baseline testing. You know, there's no reason to be in pain. If you're hurting, visit the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. They do have telemedicine services available through OrthoConnect. Learn more online at TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
For the ones finding new ways to ensure the job always gets done. For the ones wearing many hats. For the ones who are hands-on, even from far away. And the ones keeping business moving forward. We are Grainger, offering supplies and solutions for every industry, with 24/7 support and experienced staff at over 250 local branches. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Guys, stop what you're doing. Give me a few seconds of your time and let me give you a piece of advice that will change your love life forever. Have you noticed you've been losing a little pep in your step? Has your lady friend asked you, is everything okay? Do you find yourself having trouble rising for the occasion? Do you stress out before that special moment and wonder, is it gonna work? Guys, I'm going to let you in on a big secret. You don't ever have to worry again. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula has you covered. Mojo is the 100% guaranteed male enhancement formula that guarantees lasting success, if you know what I mean. The Mojo Male Enhancement Formula is safe, natural, and effective every single time, guaranteed. Mojo is available in a fast-acting spray and a quick-action capsule. Do yourself and her a favor and call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today. They'll get you set up for success. Call 210-494-2210. That number again is 210-494-2210. Mojo Male Enhancement, only available at Pure Line Nutrition.
Blake Stevens with San Antonio-based GPS of Texas. If you have commercial vehicles on the road, you're a target for personal injury lawyers. I mean, you're wearing a bullseye. Our system can protect you if there is an accident with proof of speed, video monitoring, even proof that your driver wasn't on his phone. Don't get hammered. Have real proof that you weren't at fault by installing our GPS camera tracking system. Call GPS of Texas at 210-587-7634 or gpsoftexas.com.
Drive-by birthday parties, virtual weddings. In a world full of things you never thought possible, here's one more. Now you can get all states quality insurance at an affordable rate. When you bundle your home and auto, you'll save up to 25%. With Allstate, you can lower your rates, not your expectations. Visit allstate.com or call an agent for a quote today.
In most states, prices vary based on how you buy. Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company, Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company, and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, a safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber.
poodle pamperer, piano tuner, or plumber. Signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Shop safe with PayPal.
It is the Blitz. Thanks for hanging with us. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. New Breaks and GPS of Texas bringing you the Texas Rangers. We're going to be out early this evening as the Rangers go off at 6 o'clock. It'll be like that all week long, so we got to pack a lot of fun in just a couple hours. At 6 o'clock, we got Game Night San Antonio brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. We'll be looking very closely at the Spurs. We'll look around the NFL as well and talk Masters. But right now, Sean Payton's gap year, the year after the Bounty Gate. This was like 2012, I believe, when he got in trouble, had to take a year off. He went home to Argyle, Texas, and took over his son's team. And Netflix is making a movie about that redemptive year as Sean contemplated his existence and his very desire to be a coach. And maybe he just had to get back to the fun and the kinship of high school football to reevaluate what his life was about. And Kevin James is going to play him.
Kevin James,
Paul Blart. If I'm Sean Payton, I'm pissed. What are you talking about, man? And McConaughey was busy. You couldn't go get that guy. You went and got Paul Blart.
I would think, Texas high school football coach is Kyle Chandler from Friday Night Lights. I mean, at least maybe. Kevin James should be playing Andy Reid. He really should be playing Matt Rule. I mean, Matt Rule and Kevin James look and sound alike.
Absolutely.
There's nothing there except clearly Adam Sandler needs Kevin James to have another gig because Adam Sandler's production company is producing this thing. And, they're always in the same movies together. I mean, he always has to get his friend some work. The level of bad casting to think that Kevin James, unless this is somehow some sort of weird spoofy comedy, makes no sense.
Well, dude, yes, Adam
Sean
Sandler
Payton.
isn't making a serious movie. I would like to think he's not, especially with Kevin James in the lead. Here's the funny thing is I think he could skinny up, get on a diet, lose up, get ready for your part, be like Daniel Day-Lewis and dive in. And then as soon as he plays Sean Payton, he could just go back to living his regular life, plump up a bit and go play Mike McCarthy. This could be a 2-movie deal for him. He could show his expansive ability. He could get big and do that one.
So I think you just hit the nail on the head. Adam Sandler is worried about his friend and needs him to go on a diet, needs him to lose some weight. And the only way to do that is to get him a job in which he's got to prepare for that role. But really, I mean, a comedy movie about Sean Payton's life coaching a private rich school up in the Dallas area. I mean, how funny is this going to get? Sean Payton kissing Booster's ass to try to get some money for some new helmets.
Dude, they hired Jason Witten. Argyle, Liberty Christian got a little bit of money. I don't think he was worried about all that. I'm curious if he took a salary. What if he got paid for that little sojourn into high school football in the state of Texas? There were no titles to be had.
Well, maybe his kids got scholarships.
Oh, there we go. A little Scully, little work for him. Yep, Kevin James going to play Sean Payton in the post-Bounty Gate high school football epic. That'll be coming to a screen near you. Speaking of screens near you, have you heard of this movie called Nobody?
No.
Nobody has. Well, actually, Nobody is in fact a movie. Bob Odenkirk is starring in it. He of Better Call Saul fame. And if you would like to go, we got codes or watch it. We've got codes at ESPNSA.com. You can go to ESPNSA.com if you want to watch the movie Nobody. We'll have the code so you can check it out. Easy to do. When we come back, let's talk about some sports fun stuff. Let's hang around. You're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
Your silver and black game nights start here.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray of the San Antonio Spurs.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
30 minutes before every game night on the Blitz, we give you an in-depth look at your silver and black.
1250
ESPN San Antonio.
94.5 FM.
And on the go at ESPNSA.com. ESPNSA.com.
Hi, I'm calling to schedule a shipment.
Indeed knows unexpected employee turnover can turn your business upside down.
Last pickup is at 7. Team, we gotta hustle.
Like at Sumita's online chai company, to avoid back orders, she needs to get started hiring right away.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. And the moment you sponsor a job on Indeed, you get a short list of quality candidates from our resume database. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get a $75 credit for your first sponsored job post. Terms and conditions apply.
O'Reilly. Syntec is back and better than ever at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec is a premium full synthetic motor oil option at an affordable price. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec full synthetic and a Wix filter for just $29.99. Syntec is formulated for today's engines to minimize friction, heat, and wear. Try Syntec today exclusively at
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A great meal starts with great meat. Rob and Jason here for Tri-County Meat Market, the best meat market in San Antonio. It's locally owned and full service. Tri-County has carefully selected certified prime Angus beef cuts, Wagyu, and upper choice.
Tri-County has everything you need to up your grilling game, from beef, chicken, pork, fajitas, poppers, and more. Stock up on their Pick 5 for $25. Tri-County Meat Market, 2 locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner Road, and online at tricountymeat.com.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-230-2777. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM. Online at ESPNSA.com. All day, every day. KZDC San Antonio. Jason Minutes. Rob Thompson. The Blitz.
It is the Blitz here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM on the go at ESPNSA.com. Thanks for jumping on with us. Don't mind them brake lights. We'll get you all the way home. We're out a little bit early tonight. New Breaks Texas bringing your Texas Rangers tonight. Not a bad weekend, I would say, as the Rangers go, but we got them all week long. Catch them right here on ESPNSA.com. You know, I'm noticing this is a program director issue that I'm noticing with baseball. That while the complaints about baseball being unwatchable because it's just so long, well, what happens on the backside of that is games just run ridiculously long. And, you know, we have, as a program director, I have to count for, 24 hours a day. All this, basically radio is just space between commercials. Let's not kid ourselves. And we got to make sure that things happen. But when games go long, things don't happen as they should because I've accounted for the time in different ways. It's just part of the issue of running live play-by-play sports.
We got
too many.
Hold on. It's almost
pitchers.
like when you're setting your DVR to a live sporting event and it says, should you add this 30-minute extension? You always say yes.
Yes.
I don't know why. I mean, like for Texas Tech, you realize, well, it's never going to be done in 3 hours with Texas Tech.
But we refuse to change the idea that this game is going to be long. The Tech can't get out without 4 hours. The Rangers can't play a game without 5 pitchers stepping foot on the field in the time that it takes to get everybody on there. So anyway,
well, and then you have all the different things like that. And then replay is slowing things down, and hell, they're slowing things down and not even getting it right, which is even crazier.
Yeah, we're going to look at that in a bit. Also, we're going to talk about the NFL here. Which way do you want to go here? Because we're about to make the talk about the worst sports transaction of the year, and it happened in the NFL. I am so dead set against the news that I keep seeing, and I just keep thinking that the NFL will take care of the problem before it even arises. But it seems like this isn't going to go away with Jerry Jones and Kyle Pitts.
Well, let Pledge break down the audio, and then we'll get to it.
We're going to get into it. But so first and foremost,
but they've talked.
Yeah,
they've talked. They're
all right,
talking.
But first and foremost, we look at oh gosh,
yeah.
That
he whispered in
his
ear.
Here we go. Here we go. The worst transaction of your sporting year happened in the NFL. It's one of those, whenever you hear a football team saying, we're not even taking calls, you need to take calls because Jim or Bill or any O'Brien might actually be calling you to make a ridiculously stupid deal. You got to answer the phone to get that bad deal. Well, guess what? The Cardinals answered the phone, and now they were the recipient of, the worst trade in the NFL, I'd say, in 10 years.
Well, see, now, wait a minute. Let's couch this the right way. The Cardinals won the Sports Transaction of the Year award.
They answered the phone.
They screwed over the other general manager, in an arm wrestling match.
Do you think it was a screw over? Do you think it really was? I would like to think that
they
had to be wrestled with.
They mugged him in broad daylight. I mean, they literally, walked up. He's sitting there with his phone and his wallet on the table eating lunch, and they took that and his sandwich. I mean, they took everything from Bill O'Brien, and they get the MIT Sloan Sports Analytics Conference Alpha Award for the best transaction in sports. So which that tells me as I read that, it's the smart kids up at MIT that come up with all this. The Alpha Award for the best transaction in sports, which tells me this is not even just in the NFL. This is of all the moves and all across the sports landscape. That award given to the Arizona Cardinals is the I can't believe you effing pulled that off award. And what idiot? Oh, yeah, he's fired.
Long gone. You traded a Hall of Famer for a bag of magic legumes and a broke-ass running back. I mean, that's what happened. There's no getting past that. But it wasn't the Cardinals being brilliant. I don't give any credit to the Cardinals. It's O's and the Texans just getting rid of what they perceive to be a problem. I don't know. I don't care how much hypnosis you have. How can you talk a professional NFL coach into giving up a Hall of Famer, a surefire Hall of Famer, the best guy on your team that doesn't have a massage problem, and you still only get a broke-ass running back? I put this squarely on the failure of the Texans and not the genius of the Cardinals. The genius was just to make the offer.
I mean, they made the offer and they took it. Well, I mean, you got to shoot your shot. I mean, you got Kate Upton standing at the bar. You're going to be brave enough to go ask her if she wants a drink.
Exactly.
I mean, and in this case, I mean, they asked. I mean, the Cardinals acquired Hopkins, just as a reminder for you Texans fans, a 2020 fourth-round pick and Hopkins for David Johnson, a 2020 second-round pick, and a 2021 fourth-round pick. According to Pro Football Talk, it ranks as one of the most lopsided deals in NFL history.
I'm glad it was selected as such because it is. It is as bad as it could get. And it began the end of what we know of as the Texans. What they will become, ain't what they are, and it all began a year ago.
Well, and that seems to be kind of the timeline of when Deshaun Watson went into such a funk. He needed twice
He's
daily
tense.
massages. I mean, he was just very tense, could not relax, just so shook up and traumatized by that trade that he found a new outlet and a hobby that has since gotten him into a bit of trouble.
Now, let's talk about another potential bad idea to some, to me, not to you, and to many others. If I'm just going to throw it to you this way, if the Dallas Cowboys had the opportunity to draft, say, a generational tackle, the likes of which that's coming out of Oregon or some of Northwestern, or there's a couple that are really there. If it happens, which it very possibly could, and you had the choice between a generational tackle or a very talented super tackle, a receiving, a tight end that will never puts is never in a 3-point stance, but very, very good. It looks like this could happen, or at least it's still being talked about. Jerry loves him, a shiny toy, and it looks like Kyle Pitts is amenable to come and play with him.
Well, I mean, again, if Kyle Pitts is available at number 10, you take Kyle Pitts. You do. I want a tackle more than anything. Yeah, I've been on that.
If you did, you would say take the tackle.
I want a tackle. I want a tackle. The Cowboys need a tackle more so than a corner at that 10th overall pick. And there's a couple that should be available. But if Kyle Pitts is available, I'm with Jerry Jones on this. You take him some Kyle Pitts. And I also realize the chances of Kyle Pitts being there at number 10 are about right up there of Bill O'Brien pulling off a DeAndre Hopkins trade.
CeeDee Lamb being at 16.
Well, no, it's not that he falls. He ain't gonna fall. My fear is that they're gonna try to move up. They're gonna make some kind of crazy ass deal, giving away a 3rd or 4th round pick and move that first a little bit further up to go get him. And that's a nightmare scenario for me.
If they're only giving up a 3rd or 4th round pick, I would do that.
Plus, they're number 1.
But their number 1 is going to end up being Kyle Pitts, so I'm totally fine with that. I mean, he ain't going to be available, but he is that good. You passed on Randy Moss once, you're not going to do it again. But here, Rob, because I know you enjoy this so much, I know that you love this. Kyle Pitts was on the Rich Eisen show today and does admit that not only has he already talked with the Dallas Cowboys, but he's also talked with Jerry Jones.
Has one team that's spoken to you have a star on the side of their helmet? Kyle Pitts.
Yes, I have spoken to the Cowboys.
Okay, you have. Have you spoken to Jerry Jones himself?
No. Yes, sir.
Okay. What can you share about that conversation? Because apparently he was, quote unquote, I don't know if you heard the report, infatuated with and by you, Kyle. Have you heard that report?
I'd rather not read the press clipping.
Okay.
I feel like, like Coach Saban says, it's a rap. But, until the day comes, I won't, worry about that. Someone did call me and tell me about that, and it's kind of an honor for him to say that. And, Dallas is a great team. If I could have the opportunity to play for it, would be a great, thing.
Yeah.
But you grew up in Philadelphia, right, Kyle?
Yeah. That's kind of, I would say, the oxymoron. And me growing up an Eagles fan and then having the opportunity to play for the Cowboys. So that'd be a hard time getting some of my family jerseys because they diehard Eagles fans. So that'd be something funny.
It would be. And yet another reason why Jerry Jones would draft him is to shoot a couple of birds towards the Philadelphia Eagles and their fan base. They would hate that more than Rob Thompson.
Yes, they would. And that makes it even more likely.
Yes.
Did you guys happen to see Penei Sewell's pro day? The dude ran a 5-flat 40. He weighs 700 pounds.
Yeah.
He can bench press a Volkswagen 17 times. The guy, I don't know, pro day in Oregon. I don't know what's going on up there, but I'm telling you, they're going to try to move up and go get him, and we're going to rue the day.
All right. If they don't move up and get him, and he's sitting there at number 10, Sewell long gone. You got Slater at Northwestern, a tackle, or you got a chance at Kyle Pitts at number 10.
You take a cornerback or an offensive lineman. You plan your work and you work your plan. Last year, you got that shiny toy. I can't say that enough. You get to you get an extravagant cheat day every now and then. You get to go and spend a little bit of
once a year
fun time. Well, every couple of years. Yeah, I understand going and getting yourself that 2-door convertible when you really needed a pickup. But, you can open the trunk and you can make do. And you got friends with pickups you can make do.
Absolutely.
But you only get to do that once every couple of years. The Cowboys have to start looking well beyond just what's the patch for next year. Why can we just keep this car running? Where's the duct tape? Where's the fix? Because that defense is going to suck. Let's figure out. No, go buy the pickup.
You realize we've crossed a very scary bridge when Rob Thompson sounds like the voice of reason in the room.
I do.
I mean, because in reality, I agree with what you're saying, unless Kyle Pitts is there at number 10. I don't know that I would champion moving up to get him, although if it's only for a 4th round pick. But at the same time,
you're 1 and you're 4 gone. I just can't.
More likely at 3.
Yes.
I mean, whatever the draft chart says is good. But Kyle Pitts is that good. I would sacrifice the offensive lineman. I'd push that down the road a little bit here, because that also gives you some flexibility with what to do with Gallup's contract or Amari Cooper's contract. And then maybe you could trade a Michael Gallup and get back into the first round and get that Brickashaw, whatever his name is, from Virginia Tech, that tackle. Which,
Brickashaw Ferguson?
Yeah, that dude. He's I'll learn his name if he becomes a Cowboy. Yeah, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, you don't pass up Kyle Pitts if he lands in your lap.
I've got a question for both of you.
Yes,
how much do you expect a player that's lined up in line 20% of his college career to translate to the NFL at the tight end position?
He's not going to play tight end the way you're talking about. They signed a dude named Sprinkles to do the blocking.
They still line up in line. Like, if you watch the Dallas Cowboys, the tight ends line up in line on the line.
Kellen Moore will get very creative with what to do with the Kyle Pitts. And the only
so you're
time
drafting another receiver in the first round.
The only technical time he'll be a tight end is when it comes to franchise tag time.
I've become very close and have appreciated what Incarnate Word has done. Look at they put together a football program that is fun to watch, but they're giving away 50 points a game. I don't care how good your offense is. At some point, they run out of time, just like they did last weekend and the weekend prior. Yeah, you've got an offense that will be astounding. It'll be a lot of fun to watch, but you're not going to win a lot of football games, man. And it'll go back into that 5-hour game thing that I just complained about as being a PD, which I'm all about having more Cowboys on my air. But my goodness, everything about it feels wrong. And I feel like because it feels so wrong, Jerry goes, this got to be right.
Yeah. Again, when you sound like the voice of reason, when you sound like the one that's making sense and is going to make the sensible decision, the GMing part is easy. That tells me more and more I am right, that if Kyle Pitts is available at number 10, that is what you do.
You got to go Costanza on this, man. You have had, since 1996, we're headed toward a quarter century of failures, of abject wrong moves with some fun stuff sprinkled in. You're going to have to go opposite it. At some point, you're going to have to go to the facts that every major decision I've made has been wrong. So why don't I just do the opposite? If I want a receiver, I should go get a defensive lineman, or that kind of thought.
By that argument, passing up on Johnny Manziel to get Zach Martin has netted me the exact same result. So maybe he should have got a Johnny Manziel.
If he'd have gotten a Johnny Manziel, they'd have been even a higher draft position for the last 10 years if that would have been the case. They would have drafted better, at least had better opportunities. So the fact is we would have never known, because they would have fallen apart sooner than later. Who would play Mike McCarthy in a movie? I've been playing with this. Who would you hire other than Kevin James?
Oh, well, it would be Kevin James. I'm trying to think. Who was that old actor, the big guy with the weird mustache for a long time? Brimley or something like that?
Oh, Wilford Brimley.
Mr. Diabetes?
How do you think McCarthy is? He got the diabetes.
Yeah.
Wilford Brimley?
Yeah, I have
I don't
no
know
idea.
who. I don't know who it would be. John Goodman, maybe?
John Goodman.
Maybe. I don't know. I think but the reason I asked that is I think it should be Kevin James. I think he could play every football coach. You can give him a perm and you could be Andy. Put a Hawaiian shirt on him. You could go be Andy Reid. We could skinny him up and make him nervous and tense, and he could be the head coach of Jacksonville. Well, there's a variety of avenues here. I can't wait to see Kevin James play Bill Belichick in his one-man show. He could just come in and out with different things and just play NFL head coaches. I think Sandler's actually found something that I put it all together.
Well, I mean, he was a UPS driver, wasn't he, in King of Queens?
Yes.
I mean, so we know he's good with the uniform. Ooh.
He'd have to ball up and lift weights. He'd have to shave his head and really get in shape to be solid.
I was thinking he couldn't do a worse job than Adam Gase, and he could probably do some funny things with his eyes.
That's exactly it. So to play Adam Gase, we want you to get skinny, and I want you to look at the wall and talk to me. When we come back,
Frank Caliendo as Mike McCarthy.
That's doable, maybe. The Masters is done. We have us a brand new champ, the first of Japanese origins in history. Did you see what his caddy did to close out the Masters? It was really cool. Let's talk about Matsuyama. He got a green jacket. Coming up next, you're on the Blitz, 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com. The Institute for Functional IFF for me. I met Dr. Jacob Torres a little over a year and a half ago. And, a lot of people ask me about what I'm doing with them, and it's a weight loss program. But more importantly, this is a full-service physician's office. They're a primary caregiver. If you are looking to change and come to a new physician, certainly I would recommend them for far beyond just your weight loss or your other health needs. And that's why the Institute has been so great for me, because of that medical guidance on my weight loss journey. See, Dr. Torres explained to me that the programs it's medically based. Your biology comes into play. Your medical history comes into play. Your age and all the things that you're dealing with. This is not about buying a book or going online or finding some kind of fad diet and dropping some weight and then gaining back all of it and then some. This is about a lifestyle change. And a year and a half ago, I was walking around at 300 pounds, tired all the time, the sore joints and all that goes along with being obese. Let's not kid ourselves. And, I needed to be convinced I needed to lose weight. Many of you are looking for that. I want you to call Dr. Torres and find out what I know. It is not that difficult, but I'll tell you what, if you take that step, your life will never be the same, because the great folks at the IFH, they quite frankly won't let you drop the ball. Call Dr. Torres. You'll find out what I know. 210-468-1891 is the number. He'll meet with you however you'd like. I do recommend going down to his office down there in Ashby and meeting all the great folks. And he'll explain to you what the process is like and what you need to do. Check out their website, iffhealth.com. Take the functional health test. Look at those wonderful, wonderful testimonies about how Dr. Torres and the IFH have affected so many lives and made things, so much better for us, for so many of us. I personally haven't ever felt better. I'm still on it. I'll never not be part of the IFF. I'll be part of the program from now on, because I feel so much better. Start the road to wellness. Start losing the weight, either for you or someone else. It's not that difficult, and it'll be the best thing that you ever do. Call the IFF today, and I'm sure you'll thank me later.
We get you ready for every single silver and black game on Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is DeJounte Murray.
Get the latest on the silver and black before every game.
It's Game Night San Antonio.
1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. Maybe it's not you, but you get a phone call from a family member or friend that they were arrested. You want to get out of jail fast, need to get somebody out of jail fast. The best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go to the website, mybestbailbonds.com. You can even start the bonding process there online. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option, AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans available, offer a free shuttle service. They're discreet and confidential and open 24/7. They have offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. So if you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, in the Valley, anywhere in between, license number 149. Call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. 225-2121 or online at mybestbailbonds.com.
The San Antonio Gunslingers of the American Arena League are gunning for their third straight win tonight when they host the Austin Wild at the San Antonio Rose Palace. 2 weeks ago, the Gunslingers beat Austin 34-24 in a wild one. Round 2 is tonight, and it's Public Servants Night. Police, fire, and EMTs get in free with their credentials. The Gunslingers versus the Wild tonight at 7:30. Get your tickets now at SanAntonioGunslingers.com. That's SanAntonioGunslingers.com, or check them out on Facebook.
I'm Dr. Andrea Russo, a cardiologist. Maybe you're waiting to talk to your doctor right now. But if you're having an irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness, don't wait. This could be a serious condition like atrial fibrillation, which can make you about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. If you're having these symptoms, don't wait. Talk to a doctor by phone, online, or in person.
Brought to you by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Not all pizza places are the same. Mellow Mushroom originated hand-tossed, stone-baked classic Southern pizza. Not in the mood for pizza? Order a calzone, hoagie, sandwich, burger, or a mellow salad and see how care goes into every item on the menu. Take your pick from 24 draft beers and or handcrafted cocktails. And many of the pizzas can be made gluten-free or vegan. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
Bart Starr didn't play much his senior season at Alabama after a coaching change left most seniors on the bench. That didn't stop the Green Bay Packers from taking a chance on Starr, drafting him in the 17th round of the 1956 NFL Draft. The gamble paid off. Starr went on to a Hall of Fame career with 5 NFL championships, as well as winning the first 2 Super Bowls in NFL history, winning the MVP of both.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Professional football teams are preparing to strengthen their teams with draft picks this month. As you think about growing your business, could the right hire make all the difference for you this season? LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the best candidates with the experience, skills, and motivation you need. Post a job in minutes with your must-have criteria, and LinkedIn Jobs will match you to the most qualified people across their network of 740 million professionals. Post your first job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
It is the Blitz. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, on the go at ESPNSA.com. Hey, ESPN San Antonio and Kitchen Designs by Giovanni, presents Serving Those Who Serve. We're excited about this. I want you to nominate a deserving service member to win a complete shower remodel from Kitchen Designs by Giovanni. It's easy to do. Go to ESPNSA.com and just tell us about your favorite service member. Upload it, and you too could have a brand new shower remodeled by Giovanni. What a great tribute to those that have served us these many years. Now, before we get into the Masters, his name is Anthony Nauer. He is known as the Ginger Assassin, and he is now known as Legend.
He is a legend. He did something that apparently hasn't happened much. I don't know much about bowling, but apparently it's very difficult to get a 7-10 split. He did during a TV event on FS1, and the announcer went nuts.
7-10, come on, man.
That's not John Gruden.
Again, the look back. So
that's what I mean. I don't know why that re-rag.
Right to the face, leaving the 7-10. The 7-10 only been made on television 3 times in the history of professional bowling.
Been 30 years.
On TV. Come on, kid, do it. Oh, he did it! He did it! He got the 7-10, Randy! He did it! Woo-hoo! My goodness, the Ginger Assassin just dropped the 7-10. You bet, kid. You bet. Oh, man. Give me some oxygen and water to spare the game. Brought to you by Guaranteed Ring. If you believe it, you can do it. Guaranteed Ring.
Well done, bro. Drop that product plug in there, man. You got to get it right.
I believe the Ginger Assassin can drop the 7-10. Oh, man.
So this whole
I gotta go change.
Starts out normal, turns into Gus Johnson, and finishes as Scotty Farrell. It's Farrell on the bench at the end when he's getting the sponsor read in. That was great.
And somehow they drop Def Leppard and pour some sugar on the
Hey,
end
man,
there.
it's a bowling alley, man. You see something like that, cue the DJ and fire up the cigarette. It's time to go, man. It's like a bowling alley in the 90s.
Bowling has changed, man. That's all. So there's something going on there. I have no idea. What the hell was all that, man? Were there explosions in the background? Were there like confetti cannons going off?
But man, he had a 7-10 split.
Yeah, I didn't know it was that hard. I honest to God,
I've never done it.
I've caused a lot of 7-10 splits. I've had the first half of that a lot. I just never have been able to close that sucker down. And last time I went, quite frankly, I hurt myself. So I guess I should be given the PGA a little bit more credit than I'm due that they have gotten because.
Dude, I totally forgot you got hurt. Our one and only bowling tournament. We had an injury, and we can't have another bowling tournament. But we got some really cool bowling shirts out of the deal that we've never worn.
Maybe next time
you got hurt bowling.
I am the gray-haired assassin in every sense. When we come back, Game Night San Antonio is brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Jill Jelnick's going to join us. Hey, the Spurs are 1-0. They took down the hated Mavs and kept a streak alive, the likes of which they might not ever break. We'll look at what happened over the weekend and look forward to Orlando next as we take on the Silver and Black. You're on 1250 ESPN San Antonio, 94.5 FM, and on the go at ESPNSA.com.
And those cool bowling shirts that we had, they were done over at Sammy's Embroidery Club. You need some bowling shirts made. You need your logo on any kind of gear. You can get into Sammy's Embroidery Club and get that done. Business owners, managers, club leaders, bowling team captains, you can get your logo on your shirts, your masks, your jackets, your caps, your bowling bags, whatever it might be. Need uniforms done? Sam has over 700 uniform lines to choose from: medical, restaurant, service industry, construction, camo gear, safety gear. Sammy has it all. Nobody has better prices. He has all the big name brands and is the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. You need one item done, you need 10,000 items done, anywhere in between. Sam will get it done for you. Check the website, samsembroidery.com, or go visit that massive showroom on San Pedro. It's 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's. All items do come with a warranty, and you work with Sammy on the project. He's the owner, and he's by his phone right now. Call him 210-824-3900. 824-3900 for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
Hoops and Hype. The Post Up with Brendan Medina and Jack Thompson. A basketball anthology. The culture from the court to kicks for the discerning fan. The Post Up. Fridays at 7 after the Blitz. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
Jason Minix here for Alamo Water Softeners. Following the winter storm, a lot of people had two questions about their water. Is it safe to drink? And if you have a water softener, do you need a water filter? Well, Alamo Water Softeners actually recommends both, a water softener and a filtration system. You see, a water softener does take the hardness and minerals out of water, but there are some chemicals and contaminants that it can't remove that a filtration system will. What you should do is call Alamo Water Softeners, have them out to your house, and do a free water analysis. So Alamo Water Softeners will come test your water and give you a free estimate and set you up with a system that fits your needs and your family's needs. I know firsthand how great they are. I've had a water softener in my house from Alamo Water Softeners for about a decade. Wouldn't live without one. Great local company owned by the Townsends that have a great product and even better customer service. In fact, on the Nextdoor app, Alamo Water Softeners was voted a 2020 neighborhood favorite. They are the best value for the highest quality water treatment. Discover the Alamo Water Softeners difference. Go to alamowatersofteners.com. That's alamowatersofteners.com.
Did you find a teeny weeny bikini in your husband's travel bag? It may be time to have an itty bitty conversation. Call the Divorce Dude with Polling Law PLLC. The Divorce Dude will help you get a fast, affordable, agreed divorce. But if you want to fight, the Divorce Dude will fight for you. DivorceDude.com gives you easy legal options and sticks with you every step of the way. Call George, the Divorce Dude, 210-201-0303. That's 210-201-0303 or DivorceDude.com.
Save an extra 20% now at Diamonds Direct. Our first store-wide spring sale in 2 years is happening now through Saturday. They're breaking all the rules for this huge savings on all designer and diamond fashion jewelry. Rings, earrings, bands, bracelets, thousands of engagement rings. Shop online or in store and take advantage of the biggest sale since 2019. All new and designer jewelry has been flown in for this. A multi-million-dollar selection with 20% savings. Don't miss this now through Saturday at 7 p.m. only at Diamonds Direct, official jeweler of the Dallas Cowboys. At the shops at Lock Ontario.
Injuries happen. If you twist, pull, pump, or snap something, you need to know about the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. From a minor sprain to a compound fracture, TSAOG has got you covered. Not all injuries require surgery. Dr. David Espinosa treats all non-operative orthopedic injuries and concussion baseline testing. Telemedicine services are available through Ortho Connect. If you're hurting, go to the Sports Institute at TSAOG Orthopedics. Online, TSAOG.com. That's TSAOG.com.
How clean is your nose? Most airborne germs and allergens invade through the nose, your body's air filter. It's first line of defense. You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? Did you know there's an easy way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself? It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to clean your nose by flushing out pollen, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and it comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. And 50,000 independent online reviews averaging 4.7 stars show just how much people love their Navage. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now you can clean your nose and help protect your health with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Make good nasal hygiene your new normal with Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Introducing touch-free payments from PayPal, a safe way for your customers to pay. Simply download the PayPal app and display your own unique QR code for your customers to scan. Whether you're a market seller,
I'll take 2 tomatoes and a cucumber.
poodle pamperer, piano tuner, or plumber. Signing up to accept touch-free payments for your business is easy. Touch-free QR code payments. Shop safe with PayPal.
It's spring. Time to take in a breath of fresh savings on appliances at the Home Depot's Spring Savings Event. In-store, online, all season long. Save a bundle on the Samsung Front-Load Platinum Washer and Dryer. Plus, get free and flexible delivery. That'll give a whole new meaning to spring cleaning and a whole new upgrade to your laundry. Bring on spring with the Spring Savings Event now at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. U.S. only while supplies last.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Manu Ginobili.
This is Matt Bonner, a.k.a. the Red Rocket, a.k.a. the Red Mamba, a.k.a. the Sandwich Hunter.
Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio. Brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It is Game Night San Antonio, and of course it's brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. Head over to get yourself a big old pizza, get ready for the game tonight, and pour yourself a big old glass of Montucky Cold Snap. I hear that's a fine brew. He's Jason Minix. She is Jill Jelnick of Sports Tonight in YOLO, Texas, fresh from Burleson, which is a fine place to be for a couple of days. Welcome back, Jill. How are you today?
Fantastic. Thanks for having me. I'm full from barbecue. I can tell you that much.
I mean, what a weekend. I mean, she was having a big old dino rib up in Burleson, according to her social media, and then got to come home and call a 9-hour football game that ended in heartbreak for the Incarnate Word Cardinals.
Yeah,
well, double duty. Yeah, but you got the win last night. We see DeMar DeRozan get 27 in the second half, fight off that Lucas 29, and take a win, a desperately needed win. Now, Jason threw this out earlier before we start talking about what they did. How important of a win was it to him as a Spur in his future with us and to the Spurs after that 5-game free fall?
Absolutely important. I think when you look at DeMar DeRozan's play in a Spurs jersey, that moment has to be up there. I know this is just a regular season game. I know it's not a fantastic season so far for the Spurs, but that moment just says it all, right? He's the clutch guy for the Spurs. Coach Pop said after the game, he is our scorer. DeMar DeRozan is our score. And yes, Rob, to your point, in terms of how pertinent it is with this player moving forward with this franchise, that's huge because the Spurs are definitely going to want to start those conversations with him in terms of his longevity and what his future is with this team.
You know, it's interesting because, I think about the importance of the win first and foremost. A loss to Dallas there, and I think this season officially hits the spin and it's on its way. But it was Pop's comments after the game in which he was talking about DeMar and his importance.
Everything runs through him. DJ and Derek are, kind of sharing point guard duty. DeJounte's becoming more and more comfortable with being that guy at the point. But DeMar is our scorer. So he's taken on that responsibility all year long. And he's got courage. He misses some of them. He makes some of them just like everybody through the ages. But he just comes back and does it again. It's doesn't worry, kind of like a hitter in baseball.
Kind of.
Go ahead.
I was just saying it's kind of like a hitter, kind of.
You want to hit more than you're missing. But when you hear that, there's two things in there. The shared point guard responsibility, I think all of us have issue with. Pick one and go. Maybe move the other one to the second unit and help that out. But Rob brought this up to me earlier. I want to ask you, Jill. Is that Pop already recruiting DeMar? You're our scorer. You're our guy. We'll let them figure out point guard, but everything is going to run through you the rest of this year and then on that 3 or 4 year contract that we're trying to get you to sign.
You think there's more of an alternative motive with that comment from Coach Pop than just praise, Jason?
Yes.
Is what you're getting at?
Yes.
I know I do. I think that there's a couple things here, Jill.
Yeah.
One, I think that it proved to me
too.
that Pop is, while they act like they're not paying attention to the media and the crowd outside the gates, they do. And the narrative over the last 10 days has been, why is DeMar playing? Because our young guys got to learn. Well, Pop came out and told us he's our scorer. If I sit him down, what the hell you think's going to happen? He is literally all I got. I got 2 point guards, one of which went off for 25, who's growing into the job. Derek White, I don't know what he meant by that. But the fact remains, and it's true, that without DeMar scoring, the Spurs really don't have a chance. The problem with the premise, though, is we're trading 3s for 2s. There should be more help on this team. There should be guys that can hit a 3 as DeMar is dribbling through the lane unfettered with the Dallas Maverick defense. There are buckets to be had. There's just no one around to take them. So now DeMar has to do it. I think that's a fairly obvious thing. But at the same time, if you want to go chase a ring, that's one thing. If you want to stay here and get 30 shots a night, you're more than welcome, because that's what we got. That's what it felt like to me.
But Pop knows that if he's trying to win this season, if he's trying to finish out strong, do the best he can with what he has, he absolutely has to play DeMar. You're right about that, Rob. And the younger guys, I'm sorry, we're just going to see Luka Simonic's minutes decrease the rest of the way. That's just what it is. Devin Vassell, we'll see. But I think the bigger picture is, to your point, while Pop is yes trying to bring back DeMar DeRozan, right now the Spurs don't have that relief. They're trading 2s for 3s because they don't have anyone else with DeMar right now that can handle this brutal schedule, that can handle these back-to-backs. Remember, this is the second game of a back-to-back tonight. Luckily, Orlando is also in the second game of a back-to-back, but the Spurs are 2-7 in Segababas. And right now, after tonight, they have 20 games. They have 20 games after tonight. And I'm sorry, but if Patty Mills and Rudy Gay don't provide that relief, it's going to have to be DeMar. It's going to have to be him in the stretch. Right now, Patty Mills is hovering around that 30% just in the second half of the season. And I think that's just because of fatigue. I think they're tired. I really do. It's a brutal schedule, and it's starting to catch up with them.
And again, if your goal is to get into the playoffs, whether you want, into the play-in deal that they've got set up this year or be a legitimate playoff team, you've got to win the winnable games. And I thought last night, seeing where the Mavericks are on in the standings, you had to get that game. If they would have lost that game, especially as well as they played, kind of like in Denver, you played well, but you came up short. A good team would have figured out how to win one of those two in Denver. Spurs aren't a good team. They got the win last night. Dallas should have been able to figure out how to get that win. I don't understand Dallas. They can beat Utah. They can beat Milwaukee. And in between that, they've got losses to Houston and San Antonio. Makes no sense. But if the Spurs want to be a playoff team, you got to get these wins. You got to beat Orlando tonight. They're not very good. Second night of a back-to-back for them, but I think they've won 2 games since the trade deadline. So you get this one, and then with like Phoenix or Portland this week, that's where you rest some of these guys, because you're not beating them anyway. So still you're resting against a game you're going to lose without putting 35 minutes on DeMar's legs.
Did it make it easier, Jason, to sit DeMar in the next couple of games with the win?
Yes, because you're still in it. I mean, I think a loss there, and a loss last night, I think would have been devastating to the Spurs psyche for one. But any hopes of playoffs, man, if you can't beat Dallas at this point, especially as well as you played, you're now on a 6-game losing streak. As even keel as this team is after wins and losses, I think last night could have been the deal breaker. And I said this last week, I'm not worried about the games in Denver. You weren't going to beat Denver Friday night regardless. I wanted them to rest Friday night in Denver because I put everything on that Sunday win over Dallas heading into this final 20-game stretch.
Here's the thing. I want to jump in real quick, going back to the schedule, because this is going to further your point, Jason. I mentioned they have 20 games left. If you split those 20 games in half, this first half, right, these next 10 games, basically all the way to the end of April, have a handful of winnable games. The second half, from April 28th to May 16th, they don't. You play the Suns 3 times. They play Milwaukee Bucks, Brooklyn. They play Utah twice, Portland. I bring that up because even though it makes sense right now to rest these guys.
What are we doing?
I'm sorry. I don't feel
What are we doing? You think things are going to be better in May? You think that suddenly it's going to get worse? It's harder later? What are we fighting for here,
Believe it or not, that's my point. This week, even though, Portland's going to be tough, even though this next stretch has a handful of winnable games, they can't afford to take any of these off, and they can't afford the rest of these guys. This is going to be absolutely brutal. But I'm looking at tonight all the way until April 28th. We're going to know by the end of this month whether or not the Spurs are in the playoffs. I'm going to say that right now. By the end of April, we're going to know whether they're still in it or not.
We'll look at the Orlando Magic, look at their starting lineups, and see if they can go 10-0 before they go 0-10. Coming up next, you're on Game Night San Antonio. It's always brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom. We'll be right back.
Jason Minix here for my friends at Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck over there, part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex. If you're shopping for a new vehicle, there is no better place to go than Ancira. I can tell you firsthand because I am a longtime Ancira customer. I have a vehicle from Ancira. My daughter's car is from Ancira, so is my niece's car. Heck, half the people at the radio station drive vehicles from Ancira, and it's because of how well Ancira takes care of you before, during, and most importantly, after the sale. The great customer service is why Ancira has been a top family-run dealership in San Antonio for decades. They're going to make sure you're getting the vehicle you want with all the options and features that you're looking for. They'll give you great value on your trade-in, the best rebates and financing options that are available. And, of course, they've got that great customer service. Price made Ancira number one. Price keeps Ancira number one. So think Ancira. Ancira Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram Truck. Part of the Ancira I-10 Auto Complex on I-10 West between Wurzbach and Huebner.
It's time for ESPN San Antonio's Big Score. This hour's keyword is beans. Enter that keyword at ESPNSA.com for your chance to win $1,000. 1250 ESPN San Antonio and 94.5 FM.
To all you do-it-yourselfers, get ready to welcome Fram into the fam. Because America's #1 oil filter brand now has their own new line of motor oil and fluids. And it's only at Advance and CarQuest Auto Parts. Stop into Advance and choose from 4 new Fram oil change bundles starting at just $20.99. They have the oil and filters you need to keep your engine running stronger, longer. Advance your auto at Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest locations. See store for details.
Listen to this radio station on the radio.com app anytime, anywhere. Listen to more than 300 stations along with more than 3,000 podcasts from your home area or across the U.S., all free.
With the radio.com app.
The San Antonio Gunslingers of the American Arena League are gunning for their third straight win tonight when they host the Austin Wild at the San Antonio Rose Palace. 2 weeks ago, the Gunslingers beat Austin 34-24 in a wild one. Round 2 is tonight, and it's public service night. Police, fire, and EMTs get in free with their credentials. The Gunslingers versus the Wild tonight at 7:30. Get your tickets now at SanAntonioGunslingers.com. That's SanAntonioGunslingers.com, or check them out on Facebook.
Happy Hour is back at Twin Peaks. Get up here Monday through Friday from 2 to 7 and score sweet deals like $1 off all wine and liquor, cheap shots, and freezing cold 29-degree draft brews. We also have select apps available for $2, $4, and $6. Twin Peaks. Cheers!
Parenting is tough. It's okay to ask for help. Every family needs support sometimes. Thanks to the City of San Antonio Metro Health, families, grandparents, and caregivers can get the help they need. Positive Parenting Program, or Triple P for short, can take the guesswork out of parenting. Triple P can give you the skills and confidence to make parenting easier and more fun. To learn more about this no-cost program, visit us at triple-p-parenting.com/SA or search #TriplePSA.
Making Moves is brought to you by LinkedIn Jobs.
Bart Starr didn't play much his senior season at Alabama after a coaching change left most seniors on the bench. That didn't stop the Green Bay Packers from taking a chance on Starr, drafting him in the 17th round of the 1956 NFL Draft. The gamble paid off. Starr went on to a Hall of Fame career with 5 NFL championships, as well as winning the first 2 Super Bowls in NFL history, winning the MVP of both.
Build your winning team today. Go to linkedin.com/sports.
Professional football teams are preparing to strengthen their teams with draft picks this month. As you think about growing your business, could the right hire make all the difference for you this season? LinkedIn Jobs helps you find the best candidates with the experience, skills, and motivation you need. Post a job in minutes with your must-have criteria, and LinkedIn Jobs will match you to the most qualified people across their network of 740 million professionals. Post your first job for free at linkedin.com/sports. That's linkedin.com/sports. Terms and conditions apply.
Let me tell you why I love my Spurs, man.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
This is Matt Bonner.
This is Manu Ginobili. Hi, this is DeJounte Murray. It's Game Night San Antonio.
Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by the Mellow Mushroom.
It's Game Night San Antonio, brought to you by Mellow Mushroom. He's Jason Minix. She is Jill Jelnick. I am Rob Thompson for your regular as we get ready for the Spurs and Magic. As we sit the Magic, they're not very good. When last we saw the Magic, it was a pretty easy pace. 1 month ago today, Spurs win 104-77. Shot well. Played well against a bad team, and they're not what they were even then. The trade deadline left them decimated. This is a team that is ripe to be beat. It is, but we know this team plays to the level of their competition, so I don't know what to expect. I know they feel good about themselves, but I also know as we look forward to this week that while there might not be load management per missed games, I think there might be a few minute managements as maybe the Spurs can jump out quick and let the young guys play and those old legs rest.
You know, a guy we haven't talked about yet, Lonnie Walker. He made his return on Saturday. And speaking of minutes, I think he played just roughly 17 minutes, 8 points on Saturday, but then came out last night, Sunday, had 3 okay quarters, right? And then he just turned it on in that fourth quarter. All of his 13 points came in that crucial stretch in the end of the game. He's someone that I could see being on a minutes restriction just because of his wrist. Now, Lonnie spoke to the media ahead of the game yesterday, said his wrist is 100% good. He's fine. But it was something he had been battling for a couple months. It wasn't just a kind of a fluke injury. So him being on a minutes restriction, I'm curious to see DeMar after his all-out performance last night. You mentioned him, Jason. But they need everybody. It's got to be all hands on deck, even with Orlando tonight. We'll see. We'll see what Pop says.
I would say early in this game, it's going to be business as usual. And if things go the way we would like to think a Spurs Magic game would go, which means it won't, but we'd like to think if it's comfortable, you could start emptying the bench a little bit, get some of those guys a little bit longer of breaks than they would normally get, say, in the second quarter and then the third quarter. And hopefully in the fourth quarter, we don't need them. I don't know who the Spurs victory cigar guy is this year, but whoever that guy might be, is it Luka? I mean, get him about 8 minutes in the fourth quarter, and the Spurs have that game well in hand. And it was, I would almost go opposite. I'd almost run Lonnie a little bit more tonight. He got going in the second half. Why break the momentum? I mean, and with the guy with the wrist injury, for him to have the dunk like he had the other night, that wrist is fine. There was no fear of catching that wrist on the rim with that dunk that he had last night.
But for Mikal Bridges, but for that would have been maybe the dunk of the weekend. And but for the Anthony Edwards, one of the dunks of the year. I will say this, that when I saw it happen, the most referees would have called that traveling. It wasn't. But you looked at it for a second, you went, that looked like 3 steps, but it wasn't.
It almost looked like 9 steps. I mean, does that mean Lonnie's getting respect that a bunch of other Spurs aren't?
No, it's the NBA. That's in the rule books. That's absolutely in the rule books. Okay, with the Orlando Magic, we're looking at starters of guys Michael Carter-Williams, James Ennis, Dwayne Bacon, Chumo Kiki, and Wendell Carter Jr. A couple arrived in that Vooch trade that sent him to the Chicago Bulls. Not a lot of scoring there either. Their scoring's even further down. We saw what they're capable of in the second half. The biggest key to victory in your mind, Jill?
Can they reciprocate the game they played last night? I mean, less than 24 hours, solid defense, offensive rhythm, minimal mistakes, win the turnover battle. I'd just like to see a complete game for all 4 quarters. How about that, Rob? Is that asking too much?
I think it might be. Jason.
Yeah. Okay, Coach. I mean, honestly, no letdown. This is a team that should have no big-headedness about them. They clearly at this point know they can't just walk into the room, bark, and get a win. I mean, it just doesn't work that way. They've got to be focused and dialed in. They should walk in and beat Orlando. A guy like Derek White, who struggled all night last night, needs to have a nice rebound performance. Everybody else last night, DeJounte was great. DeMar obviously was great. Lonnie Walker was solid in that fourth quarter. Derek White needs to get off the schneid.
DeMar DeRozan is number 1 in the NBA in ISO scoring. In isolation plays, when it's mano-a-mano, one-on-one, more points per possession than Kevin Durant or Harden or anybody else. He is extraordinary at that. 3-point shooting for me. I know that DeMar can go get his whenever he likes. In games like this, Keldon, Devin, whoever it is, if we can find a second scorer, a kick and deal kind of a guy, I think the rest of these games get a whole lot easier, especially in prep for the likes of Portland and Phoenix. Let's find a 3-point shooter, some rested legs. Maybe we'll find him come off the bench. They have a busy week. This is a Sega Baba. It's back-to-back till the end of the season. Jill says get them now because they're not going to come later. I say let's not get any of them. Let's be effective. Let's be effective if not successful. Hey, this has been Game Night San Antonio. We'll get it all going tomorrow. Before we let you go, Jill, a couple other things over the weekend. When you go to Burleson, Texas, and you order barbecue, where should I go?
Hard 8 Barbecue in Burleson. It's 15 miles south of Dallas. I'm telling you, Hard 8. Get their brisket, get their turkey, get their jalapeno sausage.
What else is there to do in Burleson?
What else is there to do in Burleson besides eat and drink?
I
No.
Take a nap.
How about this, Rob? If you don't want the hustle and bustle of Dallas, just go to Burleson. How about that? Enjoy yourself a weekend in Burleson.
Put that on the sign on the way into Burleson, Texas. YOLO, Texas' own Jill Jelnick. Also sports tonight. He's Jason Minix. I'm Rob Thompson. This has been Game Night San Antonio. Tomorrow, we're going to sum it all up, but we're getting ready to go to baseball. New Breaks in Texas brings you Texas Rangers baseball presented by GPS now.
What does the addition of Keanu Neal mean for the Cowboys?
When he comes in, and the way he's been described to me and the way that he's going to play, not only